Almost 2 years ago, we moved our family of 5 to a fixer-upper on acreage that we have loved renovating and turning into the homestead we've always dreamed about. Slowly but surely, we've worked on the property as well as the house itself and have shared our DIY remodeling journey in our kitchen, bathrooms, and now in this episode, our living room. This house, which was designed in the late 90s, definitely has its quirks. This front room, which includes the entry to our house, was built as a sitting area toward the front window and a formal dining room toward the back wall. We knew early on that we would be changing up the floor plan and converting this full front room into the family room and entertainment center that we've always wanted. With the new floor plan established and the initial paint and flooring jobs done, we're finally ready to settle on some design and renovations for the space. It's been pretty much just a blank slate in here with not a whole lot of character or personal or unique touches. So in this video, we're excited to start out on that project of warming up the space and customizing it for our family and guests. And we're doing it all on a budget. You know us, we love to use tools and materials we already have on hand or were salvaged from other projects, while adding in a few new intentional touches to complete the space. In this leg of the living room journey, we're building a beautiful DIY box molding wall treatment, designing some custom lighting, adding in cozy textiles and vintage or thrifted touches to give it some nostalgic charm. I also have a DIY decor project, and we're gonna be giving things we already own a little refresh and a second life for this renovated space. The most exciting part, however, is the fact that thanks to a fun partnership with Lovesac, we are finally getting the couch of our dreams after many years and many failed attempts at sofas from other brands that have disappointed us time and time again. So buckle up and join us as we take the next step on this fun journey of taking this place from house to home.
It is couch day. We are super excited. I've seen the Lovesac StealthTech for a very long time, and I can't believe we actually have one in our house right now.
I'm so excited about this. As you can see, we have no couch right now. We took our old horrible one away. We're keeping the same old rug because, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But we need a couch. So I guess the first thing we're doing for this living room refresh, remodel, is to set up our new couch. And thanks so much to Lovesac for partnering with us on this video and making our couch dreams come true. We have their Sactionals with their StealthTech technology. I literally can't believe I'm actually saying that. This is the couch of our dreams, and we're gonna set it up right now. Oh, you guys, I have so many things to say about these amazing Lovesac Sactionals. They are the world's most adaptable couch. They're completely modular, so you can rearrange, change, and upgrade through the different seasons of life or the different spaces your Sactionals live in. After visiting our local Lovesac showroom and making our selections, everything was shipped to our door for free. Now, we have definitely done our fair share of furniture assembly, but nothing has ever been as easy to set up as these Sactionals. From their high quality washable covers, insanely comfortable fill materials, to the modular system that's easy to set up or rearrange, we are completely impressed with each and every detail. We even opted for storage seats to act as a sort of ottoman or chaise portion to lay on when we kick back for some cuddle time or movie night. And speaking of movie night, okay, we've always dreamed of creating an immersive home theater experience for our family and our guests. We've been in the market not just for an amazing sofa, but also for a high-tech sound system. Well, Lovesac StealthTech sound and charge technology provides both. Yeah, we're still blown away by the fact that our couch has completely hidden Dolby Digital surround sound in its Harman Kardon speakers. This amazing system has fabric-specific and layout-specific tuning that optimizes the audio for consistent quality, no matter what fabric you choose or seat you sit in. We can control these settings from the remote that comes with the setup or through the StealthTech app on our phones. And when it's time to put down the phones, we pop them onto the sound and charge arm that has a wireless charger seamlessly integrated into it. It's incredible. Our family movie nights have turned into an epic 4D immersive experience, and maybe even more incredible than the surround sound is the fact that we can enjoy a big bowl of buttery popcorn or some ice cream while we watch our favorite flick without worrying about stains, spills, or little fingerprints. That's because Sactionals are not only washable, but they're designed for life and all the grime that naturally comes with it. And that's really the kicker for us. Lovesac products are built to last a lifetime, and that's exactly what we've been looking for. They're designed to evolve as our lives do, and these Sactionals with the StealthTech are everything we need and more to kick off our cozy living room project. Oh my gosh, this couch is amazing. Every time I sit on it, I'm like, ah, I've never felt that way about any couch that we've ever had. If you'd like to check out Lovesac for yourself, I'll leave all of that information in the description box. And thanks again to Lovesac for partnering with us on that portion of today's video. Honestly, the easy part is over. That was probably the easiest part of this whole living room. And I mean, I could just be done right now. I could just sit here. However, there's more work to be done and more transformations to happen. So sometimes people put their Sactionals against a wall so they can plug it in. This is what we've been doing this whole time. And this is not how it's going to stay. We need to install what?
A floor plug.
A floor plug. So I hired my favorite electrician so that we can have all of the cords hidden. He's probably going to do more cord management for us, like behind our TV and everything later on in this process, but we would love to eliminate the cords on the floor. So that's what he's working on. He has assigned me with the task while he's doing that to do some of the math and the figuring out and the sketching out of the wall treatment, molding, trim, calculations, and kind of figure out where we want to put everything. So I've got my job, he's got his job, and we'll continue to share as we make progress. Yay, look at that. No cords on the floor. Good job. It turned out so good.
It did.
The boys are taking advantage of some screen time right now. Before that TV comes down, hi, it's the next day if you didn't already notice. It's actually Father's Day, and what are we doing on Father's Day this year?
Working.
Yay, it's what we did on Mother's Day too. So they have a few minutes left before we take the TV and the artwork down off the wall. We're gonna pull the furniture away from the wall so that we can work on the wainscoting that we're doing, the wall treatment.
Last Sunday fell. It's over, it's all we get.
As I've been thinking about the design for this space and looking at what we already had in it, I was feeling like the wall art that we had next to the TV was just a little bit too visually busy. And thank goodness I actually put these up here with just temporary tacks on the wall because I had a feeling I might change my mind. So I think with the wall treatment installed and also some of the lighting design that Weston has been working on, we're going to get that visual interest without it feeling too busy or cluttered. Weston and I worked on just moving this furniture away, taking down the TV and its bracket, and then doing a little bit of measuring and cutting out an initial wiring for the wall sconces that we're going to be putting on either side of the TV above the top rail of the wall treatment. Okay, sconce electrical boxes are installed, and now we can start putting the paneling on the wall.
Influenced by the strangest substance of time, just
So I will link all the materials that we used in the description box for you guys, but these are the same that we used in the bathroom remodel that we did, and we've been very happy with the results and how everything has held up over this last year. We love being able to cover up some of that outdated wall texture that we have in this house and to give it a nice, smooth, clean surface. So we glued these panels onto the wall, as well as used our brad nailer to pin them into the studs along the wall. And wherever there were important outlets or openings, we measured and cut those out so that when the panel went up, we had access to those in the end. This wall is just around 23 feet long, so the third 8-foot board needed to be cut down a little bit so that it would all fit. After those panels were put on, then we went in with the top rail of trim. We modified this a little bit later on, which I'll show you in a bit. But as we started this, I was reminded once again how much of a difference top and bottom trim really make. Okay, the top rail is on and things are starting to progress. We've done a lot of work already, but now is the phase of a job where each step of the way you can actually tell that a difference is being made. So this top rail is on, and now we have seams in between each panel. So I've got some plastic wood, and I'm gonna be filling in these seams with that so that we can sand it down. In addition to doing some wood filler for those seams in between the panels, I also filled in all of the holes that the brad nails made. This makes such a difference in the end because it keeps the wood and the panels and the trim all looking super smooth and professional. After sanding and wiping down all of those wood-filled spots, it was time for the primer. This is the Valspar bonding primer. I've used this before and absolutely love it. It gave me a bit more coverage for the dark wood panels, but then also provided a nice tacky texture so the paint that I put on top will adhere beautifully and wear for a long time. Primer is on the wall. It's got that lovely little bit of grip, little bit of tackiness. It is dry. Weston just arrived home and I want to see his reaction when he comes through the door, because for me, taking that dark brown color out of here by just slapping this primer on has already just freshened up the space so much. Let's see what he thinks. Not quite the dramatic reaction I was going for, but a wow is good enough for me. With that primer dry, it is time to go in with paint. And surprise, surprise, I'm going with the same pure white Sherwin-Williams paint color in the eggshell finish that we've used all over our house since we first moved in here. It is the perfect white color, not too cool, not too warm. It looks a little bit different in each room that I have it in, so it has some great dimension as well. And someday down the road, I might want to change this wainscoting paint color and do something a little bit more bold and dramatic. But for now, we love this white color, so that's what we went with. I was just talking on my Instagram about how I call you Daddy Long Legs because you walk so fast. But I guess Daddy Long Arms is also helpful. Thank you. I was having trouble getting the paint back there. And this might be one of those like Golden Gate Bridge sort of situations where once you make it to the end with one coat, it's time to start in. Nope, it's still too wet. That joke doesn't work.
1 hour later.
So once those coats of paint were dry and I was able to see everything all together in the same color, I realized that that top molding of trim needed to be beefed up a little bit. So back to Home Depot it was for a couple more pieces to just make it look a little bit more professionally done. And I am so glad that I did this. Honestly, this trim is actually quite affordable, so it wasn't even that much of an extra cost to add this. It turned out oh so good, and I am so happy with the result. Alrighty, extra trim is on. The man is home, the kids are eating dinner, and we are going to put the box trim on. Okay, the box trim. This is the moment that I've been waiting for. We went back and forth on if we wanted to do like this box trim molding versus the board and batten style that we did in our bathroom remodel. And I just felt for a living room space, it's the first thing you see when you open the door and walk in our house. I wanted it elevated a little bit more and not as much of a farmhouse style or a country style as the board and batten tends to sometimes look. So we got some of this really easy to work with PVC molding and got our miter saw out, and I cut 24-inch and 36-inch pieces that would go together for these rectangles that we put on the wall. When Weston was working on the floor plug, you guys saw me sketching out a plan for this box molding. Each rectangle is 2 foot wide by 3 feet tall, and there's 18 inches in between each of them. And this calculation works for the full wall as well as when we take some of this trim and molding off, when we go in with some brick or stone behind our fireplace before we start burning in our wood stove again for the fall time. There's hardly any extra work to go the full length of the wall this time around, and we wanted it to look a little bit more complete for the few months of the summertime that we're going to not have the brick behind the fireplace. So that's why we decided to do that. Once we got that first box on the wall, it was really easy to sort of have a system of where to place everything, how to measure, how to keep things level and stuck on the wall with the brad nailer and the adhesive that we used. In typical DIY fashion, it seriously took us a full evening to figure out how to do the first box, but it didn't even take us a full evening the next night to do all of the other rectangles along the whole wall. And we are so happy with how this turned out. Even before we got the caulking and the paint on it, oh my goodness, it elevated the space and it just really made this wall have so much character and so much texture. And speaking of character and texture, I actually ended up finding a little bit of scrap trim that I had from a previous project that I added to this top rail of the molding just to finish it out and to make it look unique and custom to our space. And then we were ready to go in with the final coat of paint over everything and finish this wall project.
March winds and April showers make way for sweet May flowers, and then comes June, sun and you. March winds and April showers, romance will soon be ours, an outdoor paradise for two.
Oh my goodness, the task of getting this bracket and the TV back up on the wall was so much harder than when we first took it down. This took forever and we had to do it a few different times to get it right and get it level. We finally got it and we were able to move the TV cabinets back under the TV spot and fish some of these wires through our special little system that we have to hide hanging cords from the bottom of the TV. I've had so many questions about this because we've actually had this system since we first moved into this house. So I'm going to turn it over to Weston to explain a little bit about it to you.
So I knew the first thing I wanted to do when we moved in was hide the cords and not have to see them when we had our TV set up. So box there, pass-throughs, drops down below. I even knew the height that it would be at up there.
I know, look at that. It actually ended up being perfect.
Down there's another one, but as you can see, there's no cables in between. So when you look at your TV, it looks really nice.
There's no cord sticking out. So this was cut in at the top between studs.
Yep.
And then there's just like this gap in the wall between the studs where at the bottom we can have the cords fished through. And look, we already have a stray battery and some crumbs down there.
Where's that? Yep, and then...
Okay, what is this random cable coming out that isn't plugged into anything?
This is an extra HDMI.
Oh, like if we bring the switch in or whatever?
Yep.
And then we also have like these lights and stuff, which we also get questions about. So can you kind of take us through the light situation?
So these are like the Philips Hue lights. They they integrate with each other really well. So like this one and this one, and the bulbs in these actually.
That's why they were pink earlier in my video.
Yeah, exactly. They all integrate together on the Philips Hue app. We even have a sync box back there, so when you're watching a movie or something, it wherever the color is on the screen, it will go and shine in that direction. To
It's really
so
cool.
We unintentionally created
Like a
whole
theater
system over time here. With
yeah,
the couch,
especially with the couch and all of that.
It works really well. It's really seamless, and we love it. But unfortunately, these were a little cheaper than we intended with quality, and they don't really sit well on the wall because these are cut-in boxes, and it leaves a little gap. So we're gonna have to upgrade to something we enjoy a little more. You can see they're just like wobbly.
Yeah, they're kind of crappy.
But everything else I think turned out pretty well.
Yeah.
For a bunch of people that are do-it-yourselfers. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I love how this turned out. This wall is looking great. I later on am going to get some decor and stuff on this TV unit. I'll take you guys through that because I have a little vase painting project that I want to do. But thank you, Weston, for showing us the cord management and the lights. Oh, also, there's another thing that you installed that I'd like you to show them.
What would you like me to show?
They got a sneak peek a few seconds ago of this guy on our ceiling. So the lights, the sconces that we got from Amazon, pieces of crap. However,
that was nice, yeah.
Yeah, we got this from Amazon too.
Yep, I had to change the box in the ceiling to a ceiling fan box.
Because what did this used to be?
There used to just be like a chandelier here, which is crazy because the box was just glued in the wall. Put in a new box, bigger box hole, had to cut it out. Pain in the butt. Anyway, it's done. Put this in. It can put a light. Change the bright light. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that's not the best.
But you can turn those off. You can change the fan directions and pretty easy to install for the average person. So.
Looks great. It's so nice to have the fan. Actually, could you turn it off for a second? I want to show it to them not moving. When you order stuff online, you take a chance with the shade or the color or even just how it looks overall. And I think this is absolutely perfect. The wood tone coordinates really well with our piano and then our TV cabinets. And then the black, of course, we have matte black accents all over the house, like these picture frames. And this is actually the next project I'm gonna be working on. As you can see, we had one fall in the middle of the night. It was very random, but I've been meaning, ever since we got this piano, I've been meaning to raise these pictures a little bit. So I'm gonna work on that now. Thank you, Weston, for the light design tour and for being my partner in crime with getting all of this put together. I am so happy with this wall and I can't wait to put the finishing touches on it. But for now, let's work on these pictures.
I heard you say you found the story all tucked away in the back of the room. Been lost for years, far away from the glory, in the midst of our day-to-day routine, in the corner of our mind.
Wow. What a difference a few inches makes. It just makes this wall look so much more proportionate. I wish I had done this so much earlier. And since I'm here, I am going to set up this vintage light. I actually found this while I was doing some antique shopping. How pretty is this? Wait till I turn it on. I love it so much. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so cozy. How perfect is that? A nice vintage lamp on top of the vintage 1940s piano. I actually got this lamp when I was doing some vintage thrifting. I went to an antique store, and the day this video goes up, I will have my antique thrift store haul video on my Patreon available for you guys. Some of the things from that little haul that I did will be in this video, but I don't have time in this video to go through every single piece that I found. So I just wanted to take a moment to thank you so much for all of the love and support over on Patreon. It has been incredible. It's only $5 a month. I'm keeping it super affordable, and already we are having so much fun over there. And I love that this vintage lamp has its place. And I like the little bit of color, like that bluish, greenish glass lampshade is just beautiful. I have more fun little decor pieces to set out, but I'm trying to get kind of like the non-decor jobs finished so that that can be kind of like the final touch. So I have a curtain rod to hang in the front window, but I think before I do that, these janky old floor vents, original to the house, they don't work very well and they are ugly. It's so bad. Sometimes I wonder, like, who cleans our house? Oh, me. That's right, it's supposed to be me. Oh, so much better. Definitely need to do some sweeping in here. I'll run my robot vacuum in a bit. The floor is grimy, but already, man, I love that so much. It looks so good. I've got that one there, and then I replaced this one over here by the TV unit. And then we have this one over here in the corner. I feel like it blends in with the flooring while still being a nice little accent that's just kind of nondescript, but also not like builder grade. It's kind of hard to strike that balance sometimes. Like, you don't want it to be gaudy and overdone, but you don't want it to be super basic at the same time. So I think these are gonna work out really nicely. And now I'm going to install our curtain rod.
We're not in blue. We're not in mourning to raise the truth. It takes more than
Oh, I love how this curtain turned out. And by curtain, I mean, yes, singular curtain. I made a mistake and did not order 2 of this kind. So I've got nothing over on the other side. I'm so bummed. It also needs to be hemmed. I knew that when I ordered it, and I planned on doing it for this video. But you know what, since I only have one of them, I'm not gonna get my sewing machine and all of that equipment out just to do one. I will wait for that part of the project for when I get the second one in, which will not be in time for this video to go up. But you know what, I am not HGTV. You're not gonna see a perfect renovation. This is real life. But what I can do right now is pop this little, I got this vintage curtain tie back thing. I got this on eBay. The seller said it was from the 1940s. You never know how accurate that is, but I just thought it was so pretty, and I think it really coordinates well with that curtain rod. I like that warm, brassy, almost bronzy kind of antique look. So I'm gonna get this up on this side and see how it looks. Oh, I love it. And when this curtain is the correct length, I think the effect will just be beautiful. How pretty is that? You gotta love a good vintage piece. I can't wait to get the second one up there with the second curtain. I'm bummed that I wasn't able to finish that part of the process, but that's the way the pickle squirts. Speaking of vintage, I actually found this vase at the vintage shop. I don't know how vintage this is. I think even the 90s are considered vintage these days, which makes all of us feel old. But unlike what I've done with the other antique or vintage pieces around the house, I'm actually going to be making this one a little bit more modern. I picked this up because, number one, it was cheap and it was the right size and shape for the type of vase that I've been looking for a little like branches arrangement or something here on the TV unit. So it's the last day of this living room remodel. I'm gonna finish it off with a DIY project, do a little bit of decorating, and then give you the final tour. For this DIY project, I am doing the whole mix paint with baking soda, slap it on the vase, and it kind of ends up looking like unglazed kind of rustic pottery. I've done this DIY before and I really like how it turned out. And honestly, I'm just using supplies that I have on hand. I just dove into my kids' craft bin, grabbed some acrylic paints out. I've got my baking soda, which actually is looking kind of chunky. I should have sifted this before I threw the baking soda in with the paint. Oh well. I can't be bothered to start this process again. I'm kind of in that burnout phase of a home renovation project. I'm ready for this to be done, and we're so close to the end. I know the result is gonna be beautiful, but you guys, this has been the longest 6 weeks of my life. Yes, It's been 6 weeks. I've got this pretty like muted robin's egg blue color, and here goes nothing. And don't worry, I did a Google image search on this vase to make sure I wasn't going to be slapping baking soda and kids paint on a like $16,000 rare gem. And I think the $10 price tag that I paid for it at the vintage store was pretty fair. Oh my gosh. All 4 chickens are on the roof of their coop right now. Those crazy girls. Okay, not so bad. In fact, I'm loving it more than I thought I would. This is turning out. That first coat is on. I'm gonna let it dry while I go pick up the kids from VBS. Then I'll come back, finish this up, and finish up the living room.
You made me sigh for, I didn't want to tell you, I didn't want to tell you. I want some love that's true, yes I do.
Kids are home. While they had lunch, I put the second coat on. It's several hours later. It's now dry and I am ready to finally decorate. When we were playing out there, we watched a storm roll in and I think it's legitimately raining. It's been weeks. There's nothing I like to do more on a rainy day than cozy up my house. So that's what I'm gonna do now.
Someday I'll find home. The picture in my mind, a place where I can go, and you'll be always mine, always mine. I hold my breath, no give and take. I could never walk away. The giving ground, no back and forth. I promise you I'm always yours, and you're always mine.
Well, in typical Pacific Northwest fashion, the sun is back out. It started to peek out from behind the clouds and the storm rolled away just as I was putting the finishing touches in here. And I have to say, the pops of blue that I have in the living room here, I don't really have blue anywhere else in my house, but something about it is just feeling so homey. I think this color in particular, it's here. It's also a little bit in this painting of Sicily, which is where my Italian family is from. I've got a blue book over on that side of the TV unit. And then of course the vintage glass lampshade. It's just this very calming sort of color. And I love it so much. Weston just got home. Let's see what he thinks. Okay, I just finished all the decor in here. You gotta give me your best reaction.
It looks really good.
Doesn't it?
Jeez. It's not even the same house.
As when we moved in.
Yeah.
I know. I'm catching him before he's back out the door to youth group tonight, but I wanted to see what you think.
I think it looks really good. That was like a total project done. It's looking awesome.
Feels good to get it done.
Yeah.
Now we can just settle in and enjoy.
relax.
We have been absolutely loving this couch. This part of the video isn't sponsored, but oh my goodness, it's been 6 weeks. And by that time, with any of the other couches we've had, they're already starting to fall apart, and we continue to be amazed by this thing. I just feel so, so grateful. The lights look amazing. Definitely looking out for a better option for those sconces. They're a little cheaper. We'll see what we can do. Loving the fan, loving the wall treatment. I think we did a good job.
I think so too.
Thank you.
A couple amateurs.
I'll let you go get ready for youth group tonight.
Thank you.
I am so happy with how everything came together for this space. We're no longer dealing with this big blah sort of white boring room. It has so much character and comfort without being all cluttered and busy, and it's just perfect for us. And I really like how the different sections of the room flow into each other. So you have that entry area with the hall tree flowing into the seating area and home theater spot. We've got some high-tech stuff going on with the lights and of course the amazing sound system in the couch, but it doesn't feel like a bachelor pad. High-tech stuff is all, you know, hidden, but still there to really make a fun sort of experience. And then this part flows into going into the hall and the bedrooms and the guest bathroom. And I created this little tableau over here of some of my favorite pieces of art. I had a few of these on either side of the TV when we started this project. And I think that this is a much better spot for them and a much better application. Ideally, down the road, I'd like to get some sort of like wingback chair or something like that. Something vintage would actually look really pretty there. Tapestry that I found when I was doing some antiquing, and then we got a little painted, Mexican painted quail. Of course, the vintage light atop the vintage piano. I can't wait to get this corner all finished out, especially with that second curtain panel. I can see what it's gonna look like though with this first one and then the tie back. And then we would love to get some stone or brick or something behind this fireplace. And I think that's really gonna complete the space. But for now, oh my goodness, I couldn't be happier. And I think all of those weeks of hard work and planning definitely deserve a fun, cozy, comfy family movie night. So I'm gonna say goodbye and get on with that. I hope you enjoyed today's video and this big project that we tackled. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And thanks so much, of course, to Lovesac for partnering with us on this video and for making our couch and home theater dreams come true. We are so very grateful. Well, I hope you have a blessed day. Thank you so much for spending a little part of it with us on my channel, and I'll catch you later.
Sights, no scenes, no memories.